Hey, what's going on, shrimp keepers? I'm bringing you guys another hobbyist fish room video. I'm down here in Columbus, the cafe fish group, and I'm with Jeremy Bosch. Jeremy is a great guy, very knowledgeable, especially in the catfish world. He's done a lot. He'll even talk about it. He was the first ever person to spawn jaguar catfish in captivity, which is a huge deal. And he'll probably tell you a little bit about the story of that. And it's just really cool. It's a great fish room. Jeremy has over 100 tanks in here, and he definitely has a ton of room to expand. So it's going to be really cool to come back in a year or two and really see what he does with the place. So it's really cool. So, hey, Jeremy, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the hobby and different things like that.
Sure. So I started keeping fish around 10 years old.
Okay.
And I started working at the local fish store when I was about 16.
All right.
And met some friends through there, and they're like, hey, you should get some freshwater aquariums. Originally I was saving up for a saltwater tank, but they encouraged me to set up some freshwater tanks, and it just became an obsession. And
yeah, and now here we are. Look at this. Yeah, it definitely turned into a big hobby. Oh man, so where are we starting? Right here?
so we're going to start with the Hypancistris zebra, the zebra pleco. These have now been banned from export for a while, and unfortunately the Rio Xingu River has a dam in place now that may inhibit these guys from, they may actually die out.
Oh, that'd be terrible.
So this is also known as L46. You can just see the vivid black and white stripes of the fish.
Yeah, you don't see these too often. Now, I know you've spawned these before. You actually have babies here. How often do they spawn? Do they have a lot of babies when they do?
So that's one of the characteristics of the species. They don't have a lot of fry when they spawn. 6, 8, 10 is a lot.
Wow.
And so they don't produce as many eggs or offspring as some of the other pleco species.
Gotcha. Now, what's the going rate for these right now? Because I don't keep up with that.
At this size, about $200.
Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty penny.
It's a chunk of change.
Jeez, look at this
Especially if you
filter.
get a group of fish.
That is a monster, man. Now, do you suggest over filtering these guys, or are they just as hardy as anything else?
So in captivity, these guys are pretty easy. I haven't had too many issues with them. You want to make sure that you get them enough food. Don't put them in with aggressive cichlids, for instance.
Okay.
A lot of frozen food for them. They will take flakes or pellet food, but
Okay.
brine shrimp, bloodworms, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Very cool. So do you got anything down here?
I do. So there are some amongst the assassin snail. There's
Some nice whip
there are
tails.
some whiptails. This is Loricaris species Rio Atabapo. It's a lip-rooting catfish from Colombia.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole bunch over here. I didn't
Yeah.
even see them.
There's also some knobnose.
Yeah, I see the difference between the
Those are heavy
lobnose are the ones on
knobnose.
this side, on the left
Oh,
side.
yeah.
Gotcha.
You can see there's some bloodworms in there for them to munch on. They grow quickly.
Do they? Now, is this a spawn that you bred, or is this
It
a...
is.
Gotcha.
And so the adults are above us here, off to the right. You can see one right in front of you there.
Oh, wow. How often do these guys spawn?
They'll spawn every 6 weeks.
Wow,
6
that's a
weeks, yeah.
lot.
And they'll carry the eggs around in their mouth for about 3.5 weeks or so.
Let me see. Wow, the tails on those are huge.
And they'll develop those super long tails at an early age.
Gotcha. Now they just keep growing with age, or?
Yeah, they do. And even these little fry, I don't know if they'll show in the video, but even these
Okay.
fry have little whiptails to them already.
Oh yeah, you can see it. That's crazy. So they start developing them right away.
They do. They're
You got
really
quite a
neat.
few in here. Now, how big are their spawns normally?
Usually about 30, 40 is a
Okay.
good size spawn.
Those are really good.
Sometimes you'll get a rare clutch of 60 to 80.
Okay, and these feed on baby brine?
Right away, yeah, they'll feed right away on baby brine.
That's convenient. Now down here, is this more zebras?
These are more zebras. These are wild zebras. So these are
Gotcha.
straight from the Rio Xingu in Brazil.
Now, how long ago did you get these?
I've had these for about 4 or 5 weeks now.
Gotcha. So is that right before the ban came into place?
No, you can still get a few of these coming into the trade, but they're becoming harder and harder to obtain. You can see some of the males have set up shop in these caves.
Yeah, this one's been here the whole time. He's loving the photo.
He's claimed his territory.
That's awesome. So is this breeding size?
They will start breeding at that size.
Gotcha.
So this is a young male.
Look at the back fin on him.
They'll probably get another half inch in size.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they will definitely start breeding at that size.
Okay, now these guys are one of my favorites.
So these are Platystactus banjo catfish. It's the second largest catfish in the world. And they get up around 9-10 inches in size if you include the tail length.
Yes, these guys are full grown.
And these are also known as eel tail banjos. And each one's coloration is slightly different. Banjos are pretty unique in that they carry the eggs around on the bellies of the fish. The females do.
Really?
They haven't been bred too often in captivity yet, but I'm hopeful that one day they will spawn.
How long have you had them?
So I've had them for about a year and a half, 2 years now. And when I first acquired them, they were a lot smaller than this. So they're just now to the size where they should be breeding size.
Gotcha. Yeah, these guys are awesome looking. I mean, you can't beat that.
No.
Anything down here? Oh yeah, I see some stuff.
So there are some tiger plecos down here. There's also, there you go. So there's a group of tigers in here. There's also a group of Tracheolopteryctes taeniatus, the striped-blind woodcat. They're probably not going to come out and cooperate for us, but
there's something under the
there's
filter.
A tail right there.
Kind of looks like a loach.
Oh yeah, there's a Teleocicla cichlid in here, a lone male.
Poor guy.
And then there's a tail of a Tracheolopteryctes.
Yeah, shine your light in there.
Yeah.
See.
There's a group of them in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're pretty. You really can't see them too well.
No.
But
so I do have a spawning video of those guys on my YouTube channel. So
I'll have to I'll link that in the description.
We'll link that together so you can see what they look like.
That's awesome.
It's an interesting woodcat.
Very, very cool.
And here we have Geophagus mirabilis. These guys just have spangling across the entire body of the fish.
Oh, that shows up really good in the light too.
They're just a beautiful fish. It's one of the smaller species. 8 inches is full grown on these.
Okay.
These will probably top out. This group will probably top out around 6.5. You can just see the males are full color, even the females.
Now, is this one of your spawns, or did you acquire these?
So these originally came from the wet spot.
Okay.
And I do have offspring of these.
Oh, already?
Yeah. And there's a pike cichlid.
Claiming his territory.
She just kind of rules the roost there.
So you try to keep Anubias in each one of the tanks, just a little bit of greenery?
A little bit of greenery. It's not my main focus, but I do enjoy seeing some live plants in the tanks. It really enhances the look of the tank.
Yeah, and these I love the look of these tanks with the LEDs. What are these, 60 gallons?
So these are 65-gallon tanks.
65s?
I originally bought these for discus, but since I don't keep discus anymore, they work out well for cichlids and catfish.
Yeah. Ooh,
and here you can see these are another species of woodcat.
And you said you have what, about 15 species of woodcats?
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming out. That's nice.
So this is Tatia intermedia. It's one of the more common species. It's one I would recommend keeping as a beginner. They're very straightforward as far as their care.
And they like the square caves?
They do. You can see that they've kind of each picked one, and that's what they do during the day. Very much reminiscent of the plecos that everybody loves.
Yeah.
But the pattern is just as vivid. Very cool.
Now, anything good? Well, actually, you know what? Let's go back to the beginning and we can start touching on these tanks. He's got a ton of tanks down here.
So these are green autos. I don't know how well the green will show.
Oh, they look
These
good.
are Hycenotus, a key from Uruguay. And these guys will actually lay their eggs on the undersides of leaves.
Gotcha. So Nubius is a good thing to have in here.
Nubius is perfect.
You have any babies?
And there's a baby right there. I don't know if you can.
Whereabouts? Oh, I see him. Okay, right here on the front. Right there.
Yep.
Let's see if it'll show.
Let's see if the light.
There he is. Okay, he's showing up.
Tiny.
Tiny. How old is he?
That fish is probably less than a week old.
Wow. Now,
see if I can see any eggs.
So these are wild caught then?
These are wild fish. And they'll lay eggs throughout the week.
I love setups like this.
They'll usually lay anywhere from about 6 to a dozen eggs. I'm not seeing any eggs at the moment, but...
Gotcha. Ooh, I don't want to miss this guy since he's out. That is a gorgeous fish.
King tiger pleco.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yellow king tiger.
Wow. Looks like some woodcat in between the two caves.
And there are, yeah. These are Galactius woodcats. And they'll eventually reach around 8 inches. They kind of have almost like a camouflage pattern to them. Let me see if I can coax.
First he looked like just like a glop of sand.
These guys look almost like a piece of driftwood, hence the name woodcat. You can just kind of see the almost camouflaged pattern of the fish.
He's like, leave me alone.
And it doesn't even look alive, but
no, he is.
is.
Yeah. Now, do you have a breeding pair of these?
So I have a group of these. There's roughly, I think I have 8 of these total. And they just like they are excellent hiders.
And you keep them with some type of cichlid.
So these are geos. These are sveni, Geophagus sveni. It's one of the newest geos. And just like wild fish, they don't like the light.
No.
Like
do they are they good tank mates for the
catfish? Absolutely, yeah. They work well for loricarids, woodcats.
Wow.
They don't wild mannered fish.
They don't pester them at all. That's
Not
great. Look at them all. But
these guys are gorgeous. Let me see if I can shine a light and see if they'll stay put.
Oh yeah.
They get lovely extensions on the fins and red on their bodies.
Yeah, those are gorgeous. Now, what temperature do you try to keep these tanks at?
About 78. So
okay.
These are tropical.
So I see a lot of heaters in the tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And these are baby sveni along with mirabilis, Geophagus mirabilis, and sveni.
Let's shine the light in there because I can't see them too well.
We'll do one of these.
There, that looks good. Now, what do you keep with these ones? I see some guys in the caves.
There's some goldie plecos in here, which have recently been banned from export.
Yeah, because they're from the Rio Grande?
They're also from the Rio Xingu.
Rio Xingu.
But they are found in other tributaries, so why they're currently banned is beyond us, but it's a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
And they go for about $100 a piece at that size. So
holy smokes.
They're expensive.
Oh, there's a nice one. That's great. Yeah, that's an expensive fish. Now, you said you get most of your stuff from the wet spot?
Wet spot, tangled up in cichlids. When Ted Judy was importing, I got a lot of fish from him.
Yeah. Anything over here you really want to show?
There might be some green ottos. Whether or not they'll stay in place is another question.
Oh, I love the otocinclus.
Let's see. Should be some babies in here somewhere.
Oh, I just saw one swimming in the back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he swam behind the sponge filter.
Oh, yeah, there's one. Oh, yeah, they're all going to the back. May not be able to get them up to the front.
Now, you breed these?
So, yes, yeah, these are the green otocinclus that we showed earlier in the video, and these are the ones that lay the eggs on the undersides of the Nubius. And so when they get larger in size, move them to a larger tank for grow out.
Okay.
So if we move over here, we have go and hide.
Oh, there's one right there.
Let's see. And this is fun to look Hanchak's Kurzeli. You can just see the green and red coloration of the fish.
Now, is this an annual or?
So these are semi-annual. They'll live for about 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
You'll get eggs throughout the life of the fish. So unlike the annual fish, these will live for a long period of time.
That's nice. Then you can get more spawns out of them and not have to worry about breeding them as quick.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
It's a beautiful fish. Next we'll
Oh, this is where it gets good.
we'll show the baby zebras.
The zebra babies.
These fish are 6 to 8 weeks old. And this clutch was 7, so there were 7 babies.
There we go. That looks great. Wow. How big are they right now? They're probably quarter of an inch.
They're probably they're right around 3/4 of an inch, I'd say.
Now, what's that? What you're holding in your hand? What is that?
This is just some old vinyl tubing that I took,
cut it in half.
cut it in half, and created a cave out of it.
And that makes perfect little caves for them.
It's lightweight, and it gives them a place to hide.
And again, baby brine is a good thing for them.
Yes, baby brine is probably the best food for these guys when young. You can also feed them rapashi.
What type of
Geophagus.
rapashi is good for them?
I like the community formula. You can also feed them the meat pie because they are primarily carnivorous.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, that looks good. Yeah, those are
Beautiful fish.
Beautiful fish that you don't see too often. Now, the adults are in this tank as well? Just sneak around.
So the adults are right next door.
Okay.
These are the breeders.
And this is the group you've had for quite some time now.
Yeah, these are older.
Now, do you see that they breed better in these handmade caves that have a lot of crevices
I have
and
noticed
such?
that actually. Now that you bring that up, they do seem to like the ones that are not square or round in shape. They like the irregularity of these handmade caves.
Okay, now when they spawn, what's a big telltale sign? Like, how do you know you have eggs?
Well, the first sign is when the male has trapped a female. And when you see 2 fish in the cave together, that's always a good sign.
Gotcha.
I was hoping we were going to see that today, but that's not to be.
Yeah.
Another fish here.
Now I
So
see
the males take up shop in the cave they like the most. There's another one there.
I see a lot of your tanks have the assassin snails, and I know that they eat other snails. Now, the reason that you keep them, is it because the normal snails will eat the eggs of the plecos?
Yeah, I try to keep the snail count down in my tanks, and the best way to do that is by having a few assassins in the tank themselves. I do watch out to make sure the assassins are trying to get in the caves with the plecos, but
Yeah, you don't want that.
that really hasn't been an issue thus far.
Good to know. Very good to know. Well, let's move on to this big tank. This is a 100-gallon. Again, in one of the previous videos I did, I said I really have never seen a 100-gallon before, or at least not often. This is a beautiful tank.
So yeah, and here we have Geophagus megasema, which is a gorgeous fish from Bolivia. And they get that name because they have a large lateral spot on the side of the fish. But
These guys are
you
beautiful.
can just look at the fish and just see the extensions and the
Even the finnage on them, like, I'm surprised none of them nip at each other.
and you get a little bit of nipping, but these guys are not as aggressive as a lot of your other large cichlids.
Yeah.
They're more of a schooling fish.
And this is where you keep your jaguars as well.
It
I know
is.
we saw them.
It is. So we found a couple jaguars hanging out. You can see one of the larger individuals in this cave here.
Now, is this a part of your original group that spawned, or?
And these are part of the original that spawned.
That's awesome. There's a baby right there.
And these are some babies.
Not the babies that you bred, or are they?
No, these are wild fish. I went ahead and purchased some additional fish. Did have a lot of success with the actual raising of the fry, but the one individual fish that's in this cave in particular is an F1. That fish is now over 6 inches long.
Wow.
2.5 years later.
Now, explain to him, if you can, just how did it happen? How did the first spawn occur? Like, just a quick story about it.
Sure. So, originally I was keeping my fish at my dad's business, and they shut the power off, unbeknownst to me.
Oh, great.
And so, the tanks went for about 12 hours without power, and I lost the vast majority of the fish in the tanks.
Oh, that's always awful.
And the thought is that mimic the dry season. So I started doing some water changes, started feeding them a little bit more after things kind of settled down.
Yeah.
And then that happened during the summer months. And then January rolled around, I was feeding the tanks and started finding eggs. And so we think that we mimicked the dry season, and that encouraged the fish to spawn.
That's crazy.
So I'm hopeful that I'll get another spawning and be successful with raising a whole bunch of them, because I've had a lot of people interested in them, but the yield hasn't been there. So
Yeah.
One day.
One day. That's crazy, though. I mean, it's crazy how something bad could happen and how it could turn into such a good thing. Yeah. Now you have a huge rack of killifish fry over here mainly that we probably won't have time to get to, and they're pretty dark tanks. And so you breed a ton of killifish.
So yeah, I have about 40 species of aphis and about 3 or 4 species of fundulopanchax, about the same number of procatopus and lampi killies. And they're all kept in these 5 and 10 gallon aquariums. I have LED lights on the tanks. These are kept in groups. I usually keep 3 or 4 pairs in each tank. Here you can see 2 males going at it. Maybe.
Right here?
Oh yeah, those 2 are displaying to each other right now.
Fighting for dominance.
They are.
Oh, that's kind of cool to get on camera.
Let's see if I can maybe give you a little bit more light here.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Now, what species is this?
So this is Aphis June heberi, which is named after an ichthyologist. They were recently described actually just last year, and I was able to get these at the AKA convention in Colorado. So I have a reverse trio of these, and they're a little young yet to start producing, but I'm hopefully over winter that they will produce eggs, and then I can distribute them.
And you keep some woodcats with them as well.
I do. So there's some Tatia strigata currently with them. I'll probably break the 2 apart. I'll give the catfish a tank of their own. There's not a lot of people keeping strigata, and it's hard to tell in the video, but they have lines of striations across the body. It's a beautiful fish.
Yeah.
And they eat primarily Daphnia, insect larvae, brine shrimp, items like that.
Wow, so mainly live foods then.
Live and frozen.
Now, do you have a frozen type of food that you recommend? I know I asked you this earlier.
So I like San Francisco Bay a lot. You want to make sure that whatever food that you're buying, that it's fresh. You don't want stuff that's been old or sitting out, especially with frozen food. It will go stale, it will go bad. So
Gotcha.
it needs to stay frozen as long as possible, as quickly as possible.
Now, have you ever tried Hikari foods? Frozen foods?
Yeah, Hikari is a really great food. I do like the fact that they offer a couple sizes on the bloodworms.
Yeah, that's convenient.
Omega-1, I've had good success with Omega-1 as well. And there seems to be a season too. We're kind of getting into that season where the supply is actually greater than the need. So you get some really great bloodworms. So now's a great time to stock up on frozen foods, especially as we enter into fall.
Yeah, it's a good time to get them in.
So this is the Tanganyika killifish. I don't know how much they're going to stay in the light here, but these guys get about 6 inches in the wild. They can get that size in captivity, but more often they stay right around 4 inches. But they're a beautiful yellow and blue fish.
Oh, yeah, that. Wow. Now, are these annuals or?
No, they'll live a couple years. Their lifespan does seem to be short, but they produce eggs at a small size. But they have a high metabolism, so if you keep this fish, make sure that you're feeding them twice a day if possible.
Wow. Which can be a pretty heavy task. So again, you got some woodcats in here.
So these are Centromolchus reticulatus. I'm hopeful to spawn these and get these raised up. I know there's a couple people keeping these and breeding them. Hopefully hopefully I'll be able to add those to my list of species spawned.
Gotcha. Now, do they spawn in caves quite often, or?
They will. Yeah, they will spawn in caves. They'll usually find a crevice. Kind of like live bears, the males are opportunistic. They will actually spawn with the females during feeding time. And they have a gonopodium-like anal fin similar to the live bears.
Hmm.
And so they'll inseminate the female, and the female will go off and lay viable eggs.
Yeah, this guy's hiding back there now.
It's like, I don't want to be in the light.
The woodcats are, I mean, they're a great fish. Now, what do you keep them with? Just.
So this is Aphyosema riggenbachii.
Yeah, he's way up at the top.
Let me see if I can get the boy out.
Earlier, we had one jumping out on us.
That's one thing with killifish. They are excellent jumpers. Let's see if I can get the male.
Go look at these guys real quick. Did you get them?
Mm-hmm.
Not cooperating, huh? Yeah, Jeremy has just, I mean, it's just a very impressive setup. And if you look over here, he's got probably another 50 tanks. Maybe not that many, maybe 30 or 40, but he's got a lot of tanks ready to go. So he's got some good expansion coming up. And it'll be, like I said, it'll be a lot of fun to come back here and see what he does. I mean, if you even turn around back here, this is where he hatches them all out. And let's see, there's 4, 8, 16, 20, 24. Yeah, he's got a ton. And then this is, he puts them down into peat. Let me see. Oh, wow. Yeah, he is beautiful. I mean, killifish are such great looking fish. I don't think they get enough credit. Yeah, that's awesome.
What we should do is we should get the...
Hey, what are those blue ones you showed us earlier? That's what you were thinking?
Yeah. So these are Procatopus similis. And these are, if you keep these just like a live, or excuse me, like a rainbow fish. But look at the blues and the turquoise and the red on the fins. Just a gorgeous
No, the male's
fish.
the ones that get the real red on the fins?
Yes. Yeah, the males get the color. The females are kind of plain. You can see here's an older female right here. But the males are just spectacular.
Oh, yeah. Now, which one did I know you gave Amanda one of the species because she was loving all these. So Jeremy hooked her out with a pair of them, so she's so excited. But what species did you end up giving her?
So I gave her some of the Fundulopanchax perzuli that we showed you earlier.
Okay, let's check on those real quick because they are.
But there's some more in here.
They're beautiful.
So this is actually a female, and she even has some color.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Let's see if we can find the boy.
Jeremy, how many tanks do you have down here set up right now?
Around 120.
Holy smokes. Now, how much time do you spend taking care of these?
Oh, gosh. Probably 30 hours a week, I'd have to say.
Wow. So it's pretty much almost a second job.
Let's see if there's any males in here that we can... I don't know where the male went.
Oh, yeah, you got quite a few in there. Well, even if we don't get to see them, they are beautiful.
And I can go back and look at the ones in the other tank here.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the same fish that Amanda went home with. We showed these a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so she's excited.
A lot of green and red. I like to call these more of a checkerboard pattern to them.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite striations, it's not quite spotting.
Yeah,
Each one's slightly different. They're beautiful, though.
Very cool. Well, is there any last things that you want to show us before we end the video? And I know we'll definitely be back because you got a lot more to share.
I do, actually. Yeah, we didn't even get to half the stuff.
I know, it's crazy.
How about we look at maybe the 150 real quick?
Okay, yeah, that's a great tank. Hey, I mean, we're going to come back here in a year or two, and this is going to be... I can't wait. Yeah, oh, yeah. Your basement's huge.
These are some baby geos that I'm growing up. There's some Altafrons, orange head Tapajos. There's some Crobia. There's also some fundulus that we collected locally at the surface. But you can see the altifrons just starting to develop the striations, the markings of the fish. Nice reds and blues and greens.
Now what are these guys? You said you're holding these for a friend?
I am, yeah. So these are going to go to Pittsburgh. These are Crobia zinguensis. They also come from the Rio Zingu. There's the female there. She's full grown.
Oh, she's a fatty.
And these are this is a breeding pair.
Okay.
The male, of course, is
the chicken.
Hide.
Yeah, he's a little camera shy.
But he has a little bit of green on the body and orange on the face. And that's really what they're known for.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's hard to pick it up in the video.
Yep.
Oops. Yeah, they're beautiful. Now, where are the ones you collected locally? These ones?
Yeah, so those are Fundulus catinatus, or the northern studfish.
Let's see if he'll stay still long enough. Yeah.
And they're a kind of a non-native that has moved into the Ohio Valley. And they
Wow.
these are babies still. They'll get
So they color up a lot more,
yeah,
right?
they will color up a ton more.
Now, where'd you collect these at?
So these were collected north of Xenia, and so they're in the Miami River Basin now.
That's
They're
awesome.
about 6 inches. Most of the fish that we were collecting or seeing, they were right around 4 inches.
Yeah. That's great. So you specifically took the juveniles?
So yeah, we went after the juveniles because they are going to adapt to aquarium life a lot better than the adults.
Yeah.
And you can see that they've really adapted well to the aquarium here. They've set up shop. They've set up some territories.
Very cool.
They really need a big tank, so give them plenty of space. But they'll get spectacular yellows and blues.
That's awesome. Well, hey, Jeremy, thank you so much for sharing your fish room.
You're welcome.
And I know you've been in the hobby for a long time. You've learned a lot. So if you could give everyone a little piece of information that's kind of helped you become, the guy that you are and the expert in the industry, more or less, what's that information that you would give?
Well, I would recommend reading as much as possible. I mean, that's how I picked up a lot of this stuff. Go to conventions, pick other Aquarius minds. Go to the talks. I mean, I learned a lot just by listening to speakers at the conventions. So that's really the best way you can learn. Join a local fish club.
Local fish clubs are great. Now, you said read some resources and different things like that. What are some resources that you'd recommend?
Well, probably the premier magazine, Amazonas.
That's a great one.
Great resource. It'll share with you a lot of the things that are going on with the hobby currently. A lot of the new fish coming into the hobby. You can find some old copies of books. Those are great too.
Yeah.
So
there's always some good information out there. Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for visiting.
Yeah. Well, hey, you guys make it an awesome week, and I'll definitely try to get more of these out to you guys. It's cool to see what other people are doing, learn a little bit more. So it's awesome that they opened up their fish rooms to us. So thank you guys for watching, and you guys make it a great week. Talk to you later.